Hey guys, Mode Native Aquatics here, and giving you an update on the 220. This is not a video that I wanted to make, but if you've been in the hobby for any amount of time, you're going to understand that this is just a part of the aquarium process. So if you look at all of the happy fish here in the tank, you may notice that the guys who are missing is my favorite northern hogsuckers. Sadly, about a week ago, I lost them all three of those guys. I lost to ick, or white spot disease, which is a parasite. Or protozoan parasite. I'm not going to go into all the details on it, other than it is pretty common in the aquariums. There's debates as to whether it's something that's automatically in your aquarium and just attacks your fish during times of stress, or whether it's something that's introduced. In my case, it doesn't really matter. All of these fish have pretty much been added to this tank in the past 8 months or so, and most of them have been within the last 2 to 3 months. So the possibility of adding in parasites from the native waters where I've collected the fish is pretty likely. So sadly, I've read up a bunch. I was very unprepared. It's really my fault at the end of the day. Oh, there's the banded sculpin, by the way. You won't see him. He doesn't come out very often. So there he is, if you guys haven't seen him yet in the aquarium. But yeah, it came on really quickly. I noticed just a few spots that I almost thought were just pieces of sand because they like to root around in the sand. But the alarm bells started going off, and I said, "Oh man, this is probably ick." Oh, there's Moby Dick, the channel catfish. I think he's a channel, or he's a bullhead. I keep calling him a channel. I believe he's a bullhead catfish. Yeah, the alarm bells went off. I was like, this is ick. And I didn't have any ick X is what everybody seems to use. I don't know why I didn't see ick X at first. And so I used something else. I'll have to show a clip of it. I don't have it right here with me. I got something else off of Amazon that's supposed to work. I assume it probably works in about the same way. So I introduced it to the tank to try to combat the ick. I also had some salt on hand. I actually had to wait for the ick treatment to arrive. It took forever because it's the holiday season. Just my luck. So I had to wait for it to come in the mail. So in the meantime, I had some marine salt, and so I salted up to according to Aquarium Co-op. They said you can go up to a tablespoon per gallon. I didn't go that extreme. I went a tablespoon per 2 gallons and of aquarium salt. I mean, it's supposed to hurt the ick life cycle pretty severely. And then once the ick X came in, which by the time it arrived, I think the first fish died the next day after I got the ick medication. But my understanding is it doesn't really matter. Like treating the tank doesn't affect the spots that are on the fish itself. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not super experienced when it comes to medicating fish. But I mean, it got bad. It went from being a few spots to within 3 days. The largest one, the one I called Big Chungus, was just riddled with these little specks. They look like little specks of salt on the outside of the fish. And it was really bad. I've never seen this before, but poor Big Chungus, he was bleeding through his scales. You can see little red droplets. I think I've got some video of that or a picture of it. And then he died. I think it was within 3.5 days of noticing the ick. I think he died, which is a shame. And then it was a couple days after that the medium-sized hogsucker died, and then it was another 2 days after that the smallest one died. By then I was 3 days into the treatment with the medication, but it didn't matter. I mean, they had already gotten in, they had penetrated the slime layer and just absolutely wrecked the fish. Now, the smoking gun with all of this is that I did not quarantine my fish. My reasoning for doing that is the tank was new enough, I was introducing enough new species that I wasn't really, the only guys who were not newly added to the aquarium would be these green sunfish, or I'm sorry, not green sunfish, the long ear sunfish and the and Moby Dick, the catfish that has now hidden. So there's only like 4 fish, and I'm not worried about introducing, like, these guys you cannot kill. All right, these long ear sunfish, they are so hardy. And the same with the bullhead catfish. It just wasn't a problem, so I didn't quarantine them. Now everyone's gonna be like, well, you got to quarantine your fish, and it is true that this is a 220-gallon aquarium, and so treating with medications is really difficult. Just because it's expensive, it's not difficult, but it requires so much more medication. So having a quarantine tank makes way more sense, and I have since set one up. I had tanks, I just didn't have them up and cycled yet. So I've got 30-gallon tank set up, ready to go to quarantine. And from now, I've just got to preventatively treat these fish before I put them in the tank. What was really odd, I think a lot of you are going to notice what's strange about this, is that I had them, over a month, I had these fish, these hogsuckers in the aquarium. They were feeding, they were thriving. Big Chungus, he was turning into a fat lard. Everything was going great. Until about a month in, suddenly they start showing the ick. So what you'll notice, those of you who are experienced fish keepers, is, at least from what I understand, the normal time for quarantine is going to be about a month. So a normal quarantine, you catch fish in the wild, you should quarantine them about a month, and then you can introduce them to your display tank. Now, you might automatically pre-treat for diseases. So you're not going to see ick. There's 3 life stages. There's an in the gravel stage. Then it has a free swimming stage. It's my understanding that you can only kill the free swimming stage. And then the 3rd stage is when it actually latches onto the fish, forms a cyst, and then that's when you see where you can actually visibly see the cyst that forms on the fish. So once it's on the fish, you can't do anything. You just try to do water changes, I guess, and just hope, pray that their slime layer holds up, that they don't get a secondary infection, whatever. And when it's in the gravel, I don't think you can kill it. So I think if you crank up the heat, it'll shorten the life cycle to 3 days. So you can eradicate it very quickly. You can get it from its cyst stage into the gravel and then into a free swimming form, and then kill it in its free swimming form. This water runs around 72 to 73 degrees here, at least this time of year, and so the life cycle is probably closer to 7 to 10 days. So the ick treatment that I have to do is about a 10-day treatment to make sure I eradicate it, all of it. But I don't know where I was going with that, other than it came on you would expect the ick to strike while they were acclimating, and within the first week or so, or 2 weeks, you would expect to see the ick reveal itself. But instead it waited until over a month into them being adapted to the aquarium, and then suddenly I get an ick attack. So really, really frustrating. Again, the hogsuckers have been kind of the experiment that I've been trying to do to get them, in the aquarium, and I want to keep those guys and find the way to efficiently keep them, because I think they're just such a fantastic addition to the aquarium. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, just go watch the previous videos on my channel. But then to have this ick attack, just really, that was something that came completely out of left field. What I understand, none of the other ones showed any sign. If they had ick, it was in such a form, the cysts were not penetrating the slime layer very well, or whatever. They weren't showing visible signs of ick. It was only the hogsuckers, and it's my understanding that because it embeds itself in the gravel, bottom-dwelling fish are usually the first to show signs. I don't know. I think the hogsuckers are also just more sensitive to begin with. So I'm going to have to go collect some more. I have one little 2-inch hogsucker in a 10-gallon tank that I haven't showed yet. I'll show you guys that one later. He's doing okay, I think, so far. Who knows? Maybe he'll just randomly get ick as well. And then I've got a hogsucker, a really large hogsucker, probably 12 inches. He's in the 300-gallon stock tank, a cattle stock tank that's in my garage. Haven't showed that one yet either. I'll show you guys that. That's my spring project. But yeah, sadly, just a real bummer. I feel so bad. I really had them just dialed in. It was my only struggle was trying to get them to eat in a way that wasn't bankrupting me, and then out of nowhere, boom, ick hits. and then just kills them so fast. That's the other thing I had read online is people like, oh, don't worry, you've got time. Ick usually doesn't kill them. It's secondary infections, yada yada. Just take your time, treat it, blah blah blah. No, I mean this killed Big Chungus died within 3 days or within 4 days. He was dead. I mean I had very little time, and so like at this point I am going to just pre-treat. I'm going to assume that every fish that I introduce has ick. And I'm just going to always treat in the quarantine before I ever introduce to the display tank, because it seems like a dumb rookie mistake. I'm always making dumb rookie mistakes because I'm impatient with stuff. So learn my lesson. 3 hogsuckers that should still be with us are no longer with us because of my mistakes. But we're going to try again. So I would have collected, actually on Christmas, I would have collected, but I came down with some sinusitis. If you notice, my voice sounds really horrible. That is why. I'm just getting over that, and now it's going to be all windy. So once I get a nice calm night, I'm going to go out. I might actually video, if that's something you guys are interested in. I'll put on a chest rig with a GoPro, and I will video. The ones I want to target are, I want to get some more hogsuckers, if I can find some aquarium-sized hogsuckers, and then the stone rollers. Here's my stone roller guy. Look at his fin. I believe he has actually anchor worm, which of all the things, I would take a million anchor worm infections over ick, that's for sure. Anchor worms are unsightly, kind of gets that little lesion right at the base of the fins, but it is easy to treat with Dimlin X, Dimlin -X. You can get it on Amazon. It's gotten way more expensive, just like everything has, but that will absolutely eradicate anchor worms. They say don't treat it with crawdads or with any crayfish or crustaceans. I've got crawdads in here. I used to take them out to treat with Dimlin, but I have actually tried it with the crawdads and they didn't show any signs of concern with the Dimlin X. So nowadays I just treat the whole tank and I don't worry about it. Your results may vary. If you can get the crawdads out, go for it. But as you know, they dig in. I don't even hardly see them. Never mind. There he is. Yeah, so I got some crawdads in here, but I think they'll be fine. So once I'm done treating for ick, then I will treat for the anchor worm. I don't know, you probably can't see it on that guy. It's on the left side. If he turns the other way, you might just barely see a little, it just looks like a little tube type thing sticking out at the base of the dorsal fin. And they'll get a little bigger, then they have little 2 prongs. They look like a Y, like the letter Y. Anyways, so I'll treat them. The rest of the fish are doing fantastic. I'm about to a crisis with my smallmouth. They're just growing too fast. These green sunfish are also growing so stinking fast, it's insane. But the smallmouth, I really think they're too big. I'm probably going to move them out to the I'll probably move them out to the stock tank, the 300-gallon stock tank out in the garage, and I'll find some smaller, like maybe 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inch smallmouth, and put a couple in, because I'm just concerned they're going to get so big that they're going to start eating my horny head chubs and maybe my stone roller, or the sculpin as well. Sculpins, apparently they'll go 3 to 5 inches on average, and they can potentially grow up to 7 inches. It would be awesome if I could get a 7-inch sculpin. That would be pretty stinking huge. But their mouths are so huge that I could end up with an issue where he eats everything. About probably 2/3 of their body size is what they can eat. So he's going to catch up very quickly to these fish. Like the horny head chub species, if you're familiar with chubs, creek chubs at all, they are voracious eaters. They grow very quickly. Not as quickly. I mean, nothing's going to match the growth rate of like a bluegill or a green sunfish or a bass. But as far as like minnows are concerned, or like the minnow type species, probably the chub is going to be the next species in terms of speed of growth. When you look, they just eat until they're about to explode. You'll see there's little pieces of shrimp. If you haven't seen previous videos, I will chop up frozen peeled shrimp. I've actually got the sculpin, so they like earthworms and any fish that can fit in their mouth. If you get them hungry enough, they will start to, I cut them in kind of slivers, like little fish-looking slivers, and then I've got him weaned onto frozen shrimp, which is awesome. Sometimes I have to kind of deliver it right to his mouth, so that he'll actually eat it. But once you get these fish, all these fish are actually eating. Sometimes I have to chop it really small, but they'll all eat frozen shrimp, which is such a high protein source that it's probably about the most affordable way to feed these fish. But man, they grow fast. I don't like when, like the bass especially, they have really sunken looking stomachs when when you haven't fed them for like a couple days, even though they're still fine, they're still healthy. It's so dumb, but like aesthetically, they look like they're starving after like 2 days. So I like to keep them, like, it's a little bit overboard how they are now. Like, they're so fat that they're looking kind of bulgy. But I like them to be just like, you know, plump, not fat, but plump. And to maintain that, I feel like I feed them more than I need to. And then they just grow. I mean, the more you feed them, the faster they grow. Same with these green sunfish. These guys are insane. I cannot believe in the last couple months how they've probably grown like a centimeter a month, maybe. That sounds ridiculous, but I would say that's about their growth rate right now. Anyways, so feeding, again, that's the main thing. Once you have an aquarium, you're just watching them swim around, and then the most enjoyable part is, for me at least, is feeding them. So anyhow, this went longer than I planned. That's the update on the 220 gallon. Really a bummer that I lost my Hogsuckers. I will be collecting some more probably within the next month if I can find a good weather evening to go out with my waders and a flashlight and capture some. So anyways, this is Mo Native Aquatics, and like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Not enjoy me killing fish, but just enjoy me talking about them. Native fish are awesome. But like and subscribe and follow along. I'll keep you guys updated once I get some more Hogsuckers, and we'll try this again. I think it's going to go better. So let me know in the comments if you guys have experience with ick or what you found. Maybe the aquarium salt wasn't the way to go. I think ick X is the way to go. But let me know. I really medicating fish is one of the most difficult things for me. I will be quarantining the next batch because I know I need to. I keep paying the same price for stupid mistakes that I make, but maybe you guys have some tips and tricks. But anyways, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.